Clinically, good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to designing navigation in CSS, where we are continuing to design Cinera's navigation bar, I guess. So here we go. We've got ourselves into this situation here, where we're producing this whole thing. It's basically like a tree. And the meaning of this is that the book club is the selected project. Okay, so if I change risky to be the selected one, you see that becomes like that. And if I start to carve out pieces of the book club, so make computerization and design the selected one, that one is selected. Right, so you kind of get the idea. I think this is basically done, but I want to first of all just see if I can simplify the CSS a little bit, because I suspect I can. This UL thing here, I think actually ends up being the same as this. So I think if I remove this, it should make no difference, I think. Oh wow, okay, so it does make a difference, does it? Ah, hang on, what's that done? Miscellaneous admin health. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, good job that I've got this full test thing that actually exhibits the difference in here. So that's by that list item unordered list. Ah, hang on. There we go, that's the same now. So, flex grow. Is there any argument why not to do that? I'm not sure, so I can think of one. So we've got one flex direction going, one flex box that is going horizontally. So each unordered list actually lists out things horizontally. But a list item has to switch the direction to be going columnar. And then finally we had the A, which needs to become flex. The A occupies the entire space available to it. And then it says its content is justified to the center and aligned to the center, which essentially means that it puts on both axes the things at the center. Now let me just try this. So flex direction column, flex grow 0. Yeah, okay, so flex grow only applies to the children, right? So like this is a child, of the unordered list, so each list item. I think what this means is that we'll find that we don't occupy the entire width. I think that's what that means. Yeah. Perfect. I would like to occupy the entire width that we're given. And then this flex grow. Yeah, like I say again, it's talking about this occupying the entire size of this. So if we say that this is 0, I think we're going to find that because we don't center anyone else, I think we're going to find that risky business is going to be going up here. Would it go up here and then there? It would either go up here, it would either go up to here, centered, or it would go here. I think. But I reckon that one of these justified contents, like the vertically justified content, ain't gonna do anything. I think it's the justified content, but is it the it's one of these two. The one that is going to be centering it vertically. I don't think that will take effect because it hasn't actually grown to occupy the entire height. Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, we do need that. Unless of course we prefer this. Obviously we colour that in. No, I don't think that's what we want. No. I think this is what we want. This text align, is this necessary? No. Now, yeah, the text decoration. So we've got the structure here. And then we've got the typography. And that is going to be talking about the text decoration. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's how I like to structure these guys. And then the stuff below is all the risky specific stuff. Which we can get to. One thing I might actually like to do, because we're going to have multiple versions of the navigation thing, wonder if we'd like to have it so that we basically split out the sort of general navigation stuff and the specific navigational stuff. So first of all, let's see if we need to do that. I think we're satisfied enough with this. Let's get ourselves another set of stuff. It's got a nav, yeah. Let's just dump this down there. Well, I mean, we can make it in the nav as well, actually, honestly. Should get the same thing, yeah. Well, I guess we do it. Does not matter at all. Does that do anything? Yeah. Alright, so rather than Cinera nav horizontal, what we're talking about now, and also who is the current one actually? Shouldn't somebody be set as the current? Have I lost some information here? Yeah, let's make Coad the current one. Yeah, just so we've still got that going on. Alright, so nav horizontal we've done. We now want to see Cinera nav drop down. And the thing about this is that it's structured a bit differently. I think the only difference is that it's contained within a container actually. Yeah, I do think that's it. So, I mean, it'd be effectively yeah, I mean, now I think about it, it could just end up being like this, actually. Something like this. Just go and grab the handmade hero. This thing. So you've got your nav ID, main nav. Yes, this thing here is going to be remaining the same. Apart from the fact that we're going to, well, I don't mean we're going to use actual this. What I mean is that we're going to use this, the UL class. Yeah, okay, so effectively what we're saying is this actually. Cinera nav drop down. And let's just throw that over on the other side. You got your div, which is the Cinera nav title. And then you've got your unordered list. I wonder if there's any need for this interior thing. So let's just say there isn't. Let's just say we're talking about computer. We need to try this, and we also need to try the span, like the risky business span thing. So let's see what that gives us. Gives us over there. Cool. So, is it because we need to make this, well, I was going to say we need to make this a flex box. Well, let's see. What we're talking about. Because we were saying main nav, this or type, so the main nav, let's get to there. So we don't use main nav, is that right? Oh, this is because JavaScript uses this, probably. So, yeah, we're talking about body header nav. Header nav is display flex. This flex direction is column. Margin bottom. Saying is that apparently. So display float direction column. Now, how do we get that into the center? Text line center, so div this, div family, I think it's basically a question of saying now, are we talking about flexes though? I mean, that works fine. Oh, really? Okay, right. So absolute simply means that the people below us don't get moved around. All right. Oh, that's the point. So it can't actually be transparent, really. Well, yeah, it shouldn't really be, should it? Oh yeah, I hadn't spotted that. And also that ain't right, is it? So the position is absolute. Oh, somebody had the weird, didn't it? Where was that? So that was on the nav div this. Was it that? It was. Yeah. So now I just need to make sure. Now, is this the utility of that div? To push that guy down? No. So this seems to think that an absolutely positioned thing is essentially going to be positioned Oh, hang on. You need to do some other stuff, don't you? When you're doing position absolute, I think I need to set position relative on somebody else. That isn't what I want. I do want absolute, so it's going to be sitting over stuff below it. Yeah. That's what I saw. So this thing is positioned. Didn't really have drop down positioned. That is an ancestor of this. I mean, I think we've actually worked this out somewhere else, so we don't actually need to do this. So let's look at what we did here. It's position absolute. I might just like to call it the title. Just a moment. Okay. So yeah, how do we knock that guy down? Can't remember what these settings actually are. So let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so that doesn't actually help us at all. So display flex is fine, it's a set there. Position absolute makes sure that it doesn't push things down once we actually show the thing. So we know that we want to use position absolute. Let's read this a bit more carefully. An element with position absolute is positioned relative to the nearest positioned ancestor instead of positioned relative to the viewport, like fixed. Oh, right. So, hang on a second. What that means is, I think we need to wrap the unordered list. I think that's it. Classic thing, this, just wrapping that. Let's just say that this has got the same class name. Well, actually, it's got the Cinera nav wrapper. So that's positioned. Now, how does that help us, if at all? Yeah, that's bang on. That's what you used to do. That's simply to permit the position absolute to actually take effect. Alright, perfect. So yeah, we do also actually just need to make sure this background colour, we'd have to set this to something. Because transparent won't cut it. Yeah, and also setting the transparency of the thing on hover. Never spotted this before. Doesn't actually help us. You really need to use a different colour. You need to compute a colour that's half the transparency of the actual thing. I think that's what you need to do. Well, we've got those colours, haven't we? Because we use them on the actual website, don't we? The capture might go a bit sketchy for a moment while it uses a ton of processing power on something. So yeah, we've got this colour is going fainter. Well, okay, so we are using the opacity. I think we just haven't spotted the problem. I think that's all that's going on there. Yeah, I think that is all the problem. So how about unhammered hero? So yeah, we're not. Well, actually, we could be using. Let's see what we are using in here. So we're only using 97%. Right, so the other thing that's written is risky business over here. Oh, you can actually see through also. Yeah, it's just that it wasn't very clear when you see it back here. Okay, so. Interesting. I mean, you can sort of see through those basically clearly. Just give us a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. All right. I think there was something that just occurred to me that I want to see if I can simplify a bit. But I've already forgotten what it was. Let's see the HTML. Oh, it might not have been simplification, it might just have been changing this div to be a class, nav, basically. And for that matter, we could just do that as well, couldn't we? Alright, God, that doesn't have to do it. So yeah, the thing that we're looking at, we're sort of looking at this, weren't we? The transparency. I think we can probably address that at a later time, really, because that's just to do with the colours. Let's first we'll get this thing working. So let's make mod.js. And let's just stick it down here. So can't remember how to graphic in the slightest. Oh, it's probably going to be an array thing also. Well, I'll tell you what. All right, cool. Okay, we basically want to say suppose we'll just run it. Oh. It doesn't like that. Is that right? Dublin abbreviation. Can't you do that? I mean, did it actually do it though? No. Right. Oh, right. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe this automatically gives us an array. It didn't actually have to identify it as an array. Maybe that's how that works. Okay. So we're saying we want to add a event handler an event listener. Oh, let's just get the goddamn files. So what you do is you say add event listener to the actual thing. So I sort of think that's probably it. Another way to do it actually is to go to here and here. Right. Right. So I guess that's how you do it. So when you click visible and remove visible, right, okay. Fine. So I'm going to do it like that. So you've got your navigation. Oh yeah. So the first thing is to get elements by class name. For each person, actually get the family. Just going to get the first one. There should be only one of them. So adding the event listener on the navigation. Okay, yeah. I was saying, oh, hang on. And that was the click. No. We then need to say I don't think we need the EV, do we? Because that isn't used. So, yeah, I don't think you could open it up without actually mouse overing it. So let's just see what happens first of all. Doesn't like something. Get to know my class name. Oh shit. Sorry, it's not that one. I don't think. So line 26. Okay, line 1, 26. There we go. 0.9%. So nailed it. Now, I would also like to say why is there a space at the end of that actually? So you write your title like this. You've got your nav wrapper, which is simply so we know the location of this person. Now, yeah, the thing I was wondering was making this not actually selectable. So how do you do that? Pretty sure I do use it somewhere. There we go. That way you can freely click on this and it won't actually, same like this actually, it won't start to try and select the actual text like that. Alright, so I reckon that is probably the next one done. Now, yeah, we've got the colours for these. I think this is just because the hover colour isn't very prominent. Can't really tell, yeah. So now you can tell that it's fading out. But as I was arguing before, wasn't really arguing, but as I was sort of suggesting before, we probably want to pre-compute the colour that's halfway between the actual foreground and the actual background. Well, I mean, it depends on what the person wants to do, actually. Because if we do that, we'll unfortunately lose a bit of cool stuff. I mean, we don't want this. We're trying to prevent this sort of thing from happening, where the guy in the background just bleeds right through. But I'll just get the Risky Business website and just bear with us while this CPU goes bananas. If we do that, then Well, I mean, this is a different style, isn't it, actually? Strictly speaking, what I'm actually comparing here this is the upper of the navigation things that we've done. So setting transparency on that to be, we're using transparency on that is fine. I think the issue is using transparency on the second one that we've just done. Because basically what we have here, I don't know if this comes through on the stream, maybe on the right seat. You can see the little grid pattern around the back. This has got transparent background, so this whole background flows up into the navigation thing. When you're hovering on this, you actually make the background semi-transparent. And as it happens, it actually makes the background the same colour as the it's like the top. I don't think that's chance. I think I actually made it that way. But the point is you can sort of see through. So it's basically halfway to becoming what this guy is over here. And then when you click it goes full bar. The reason this isn't instantaneous, by the way, is that when you navigate, it actually has to check whether you are permitted to look at these websites. It checked your eligibility against a database. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, that's the thing for the non-horizontal, or rather, it's a thing for the non-drop-down. Can I close this? Wait till my RAM frees up. So that was just to say that that's talking about all of this, right? And that's perfectly fine. Like whenever you hover on this, that always looks no problem. The issue is in here. So yeah, I suggest that we need to have a different way of actually doing the hover for the people that are within a nav drop down. That's basically it, really. This one should take precedence because it's more specific, which is kind of nice actually. But let's just say for the sake of argument, we're not going to use an RGB-A. What we want is, let's just say halfway between this colour and white. So let's just go and compute that colour. Actually, is there a tool online, I wonder, that does that? I mean, you're basically blending, it's a colour blender really. This colour hexer might be a website I've used before. Something isn't wanting to happen there. Yeah, okay, so I want to say Oh, right. Jesus. So... So saying this... Hang on, what was this? Right. Oh, at a percentage. So you're saying... Yeah, so let's just say that we try and, again, try and blend it with that. Well, hang on, is it 50% of this plus 50% white? Has that done anything? FFF ATZ 7. Okay, I think that has actually done it. So we're saying this is the... Well, I'm going to use a hex triplet, honestly. There we go. Oops, sorry, it's this one, isn't it? So I think that's basically this, a similar colour. Right. 50% of that, 50% of white. List item A, Harvard. So these are getting coloured. These don't seem to be getting coloured for some reason. Cinera now horizontal, not risky. Do I just not tag up? No, I'm doing that. Yeah, that is definitely not coming through. So let's just take a look at what that actually is. Background colour is white. You are soon enough. Horizontal risky. I mean, the dot current shouldn't affect anything. Let's make the colour a bit more noticeable. Okay, so it is coming through. Interesting, just couldn't see it. Fine. Which kind of suggests that if something is a current, oh, this could be a thing that Casey was actually talking about in the last Handmade Hero, which is to do with perceptual differences of sort of, well, he was talking in terms of fading. So fading of light in and out. So fading in from dark or in from black to some amount and then fading out to black. And there's something to do with that, probably down at the black end, I imagine. You can perceive the differences more noticeably at the black end going to white. So it'll appear, so if you're going from black to white, it'll appear to like start quicker. You can like perceive the difference quicker. But if you're going from white to black, that actually appears to be slower because you don't actually see the change until later. That could be what we're sort of seeing here. So like when we're going from when we're going from a darker to a whiter, you can readily see it. But when you're going from a white to a when you go from a darker to an in-between dark and white, you can see it. But when you're going from, like this is actually 50% down, by the way. But when you go from white to the 50%er, you just can't see it. Strangely enough, although you can see it here, which I guess is a bit throwing my theory off. So you can see that change. I think that's probably, is that just not as, is it too bright basically? FFF8 E7. I'm going to mix those colours again. So you wanted to take 50% of FFF8 E7. And 50% of white. FFF CF3. CF3, ah yeah. I just totally got the wrong amount. That was all that happened there. Probably. Yeah, that's more like it. I think I mixed it twice, didn't I? I was like, I can't see that change, and tried to use the same amount again, but whatever. So let's make ourselves a little colour for that thing. The title. Okay, so the colour that I actually want is the one that's the default, the unhovered. So let's go and grab that. Alright, that's basically it. These probably won't be actual colours, but I just needed to make a note of the fact that we want to actually have colours. So yeah, so that's working, I reckon. Let's now just quickly nip back to here and do a final nav. And this is going to be Cinera nav plain or something. Let's just see what this looks like. Looks like that. I mean, is that all you just need? So the current one is computer organization design. That's pretty clear from the fact that this title says that. Basically, all we're trying to do here is to do a thing that's going to look half reasonable for a network. So they're using this sort of thing here. And the way that they do the current one is just to embolden it. So we could just totally do that, couldn't we? The current one is just strong, and that's your lot. So when we produce this, it's a bit unfortunate actually. I mean, now that I say that, basically the difference is that it's bold and it's not a link. I mean, how about we just sort of say, no, you're going to get it as a link. Oh, it's actually that. I mean, I think that's basically it, really. So when you got the plain one, you get that. And we set the font weight to bold for you. And that's it. Well, actually, it's typography, isn't it? Honestly. So we're saying the text for everyone is none. Well, right. So that's what we give you. And remember I was talking about sort of compressing these things down. So you've got like the general stuff and then the specific stuff. I don't think there's much point in doing that, really, because we can use the... Well, actually, let's just have a look. So for the Cinera nav drop down, this is title specific, as is this, as is this, actually. And finally, this is, yeah, the horizontal specific as well. Sorry, the drop down specific. So yeah, all of this is the drop down specific stuff, which is perfectly fine. And then the stuff within it, we didn't have to touch the horizontal stuff at all. So that's just basically separate already. There's no structure for the plane, because that just comes as it does. There is typography for the plane. Yeah, I mean, this would be the only place, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be the only place, sorry, I've just missed a sentence. It would be the only place where there would be potential for compressing out. You know, you just say that at all, wherever we do an A, whether it's in the horizontal or the plane, we always set the declaration to be none. But I don't think there's any harm in doing it like this at all. We don't do the bold situation. And then the colorization will be down. I mean, do they even do colorization? They do, yeah, a little bit. But that's not going to be our responsibility. That's going to come into the actual specific themes. So Oh. Yeah, let's change both of the dudes. Perfect. Obviously that isn't what you actually want. You do what you want. But yeah, what I'm saying is that that's up to them. Oh. That's sad. Burgundy isn't a colour. Yeah, anyway. That's basically the gist of that. Alright, so what we've got, 15 minutes to go, or 10 minutes probably now. So, yeah, I reckon we've done all the dudes. I'm satisfied with this as well, actually, because I was wondering if we should do a different sort of style for the drop down, the drop down thing, but I think this is alright. Yeah, I do think that's alright. Right, and then if people want to stick stuff like an icon beside it, they can do that. You know, they can style it how they like. I mean, the alternative would be... Oh, hold on, just a second. I think I need to make this guy not padded, by the way. Oh no, we have done. Yeah. Yeah, because basically what we found with the Hero one is that we pad it in all directions. Which sort of threw off something. You can see that this is, let me just double Well, it's down there, isn't it? Right. Just setting that padding to be that actually fixes the alignments. Right, you can just see that straight away. Right, take away the 0, and it moves it. So we need the 0 in there. And we have that in our actual thing somewhere. Well, it was here, wasn't it? Yeah. So we've done that. Yeah, I was going to say one thing we could maybe do, we could think about maybe, it's actually constructing the entire thing for them. The entire navigation thing, including this. You know, including an icon. So you can configure an icon, and we just say that we just stick that on the left-hand side, like on Handmade Heroes website, Risky Business website. You know, we just say that we lop it here. Don't know, I guess it's something to think about, whether or not we do that. I think for now, at least, we definitely want to be producing the thing that we're producing. That's all we need to be producing so far. It's kind of nice that this is the only thing that needs to be added to the JS file. So I think now that we've determined that we can do this, first of all, and I think we've sussed out the slickest way of doing it. I think tomorrow what we're going to do, I think first of all I'm calling it a day, but tomorrow we can actually incorporate the JavaScript into the Cinera.js file. I mean, it's possible, isn't it? Well, you can't have it for each JavaScript, actually, each navigation, because you might want to have multiple pieces of navigation. Yeah, incorporate this into a JavaScript file somewhere, and this will have to occur after each instance of after all of the navigation things have been used. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, the thing I'm just wondering here is if we could put this function into a JavaScript file that is sourced at the top, kind of encapsulate this into a function, basically. I don't think encapsulate is the right word, but basically make this to be a function. And then in the HTML, after you've produced this whole nav, you somehow call a function. But I don't think I can do that at all, because of the rules that I'm sort of using. I'm saying that you can't use inline JavaScript. I mean, yeah, it's essentially the HTML script tag. Kind of. Oh, interesting. Hang on a second. That's just it, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is what we'll use actually. I think you've got async as well, actually. So yeah, I mean, it's basically mind you, there won't be any harm in just doing it at the end, honestly. But then the question would be, where do you actually stick it? Because I don't think you can put it outside the HTML thing. I think we've got a rule. The rule is that you have to put a Cinera includes thing, a Cinera includes tag in your head. Right, that's just a straight up rule that we've got. So I think what we do is lean on that and say if a template contains a Cinera nav tag, that is taking the argument drop down. So we're producing a drop down menu, which we will know in advance. You know, at the point where we're actually generating the include section, we will already know that because we pass the template in, or we pack the template in advance. Right, if that's the case, then we just output this and defer its actual execution until the page is loaded. Right, that way the page will load, and then the script will go over all the drop-down navigation. Yeah, I think that's what we will do. That's how we'll do that. Let's make a note of that, just in case we forget. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, yeah. So next time we're going to be putting the JavaScript in the actual Cinera file. We're going to be probably producing this actual, create this file. I just noted down the cinera.nav.js. Create that. I'm going to put the CSS. Going to put all of this. All this. So it's like, what was it, 79 lines or something? 2 lines. Yeah. Into the actual Cinera.css file. And that Cinera.css is included in every single HTML file that we output. So it'll be there just in case. So that's what we'll do. We could also add these tags to the risky theme. So we've got testing, and then we need to remember to actually add them to the hero. And then I think we just generate them really. And then once we've generated them, that's this part of it. Oh no, we need to actually do the template tag itself. So yeah, we need a template tag, Cinera nav, that can take an argument. And it's possible we might want to make it take an additional argument, as well as saying what style of navigation we want. We might want to say, like, how much of the projects we actually want to put in the menu. We might want to do that. It's possible we might not need it. And just to be a bit more concrete about that, what I basically mean is, if we're inside any of these projects, if we're in Risky Business or Book Club or Computer Design, any of these guys, the idea at the moment is that the default behavior will be that it produces the navigation for the entire lineage. Sorry, for the entire family. And to be even more concrete about that, if we just run the program and look at the config, right, what we're saying is, you've got risky up here. Risky contains risky, risk, risky book, and risky book contains risky book card and risky book reader, right? Now when I'm talking about the entire family, I'm saying this risky is a family. Okay. But within this configuration we also have another family, which is the hero family. So whenever you're in any of these hero projects, the default behavior would be that it outputs the entire navigation for this whole family. Right. Then, if we're not in any of these projects and we're at the root scope, and we're talking about generating a global page. Gosh, where are we? We're still in hero. Jesus. So we're talking about generating a global page. At the moment we can only generate a global search page. if we are generating a global search page, and in the global search template you see this navigation tag, it will actually produce the navigation for the entire thing. So it's going to have hero and risky in there. So those are the default situations. I'm just not sure if within those things you would want to be able to specify like other things. Like for example in the risky business one, the default is to just produce navigation for the risky family. You might want to say produce navigation for the whole lot. So it's for both families, for risky and hero. So you're effectively getting the global navigation even within one of these. So yeah, it's possible that we're going to do that. I think initially we don't need it, honestly. Which suggests we just shouldn't do it. And only if somebody comes along and says, look, the default ain't what we actually want. Only if that happens, then we actually add that capability, I reckon. Yeah, let's add what we need first. And then keep in mind that in the future we might need to add some more. But anyway, let's do it for today. We've done. Oh, let's stop at 2, 3, 4. Let's stop at that time. So thank you very much, Jason Howins, for being there. Beautiful and fantastic and well navigated. Until next time, farewell for now.